always an opportunity. I think that's a baby girl.
She's hungry. Maybe.
She must be hungry. What is Father Ivan doing? There's always, I'm looking at number 1. There's always the opportunity to live only for God. The opportunity to be redeemed. Has it happened to you? I don't want to tell you the story again. You wanted to do something good and you let that opportunity pass you by. Has that happened to you? And you wish you could go back and grab that opportunity. But you simply didn't. Opportunity knocks and passes this way but once. And because you may not pass this way again, you might as well do every act of kindness you can while you're at it. That's why, for as long as I'm alive, I want to do what I can do, so I can spread and let His name be known and loved by more and more people. I would wish that more people would benefit, but again, we cannot force anyone if they don't want to. Hopefully the YouTube they use, but we'll see. Now, against that background, so there's always the opportunity, and God has granted us our time on earth to walk towards Him. This is what I mean. In Matthew 20, if you read Matthew 20 very carefully, you will see that it's not by accident that we are together here now. It's not. It's God's provision. It's God who has planned that we be together tonight. It's not, there's no such thing as coincidence. It's not by accident that you were born in the year you were born in. There's a plan, it's in God's plan that you be born in that year. In that year, at that time, on that day, there's a plan. There's a reason for it. Our job is to find out what that plan is for you and for me. I have a strong feeling that the plan of God is for me to move wherever He moves me. If He decides to move me again someplace else, my plan is to continue doing what I'm doing. Because I believe that's His call. Because if it were not so, He would have not given me so much materials in so long a time, without repeating anything. I feel so blessed because if it's time for us to part ways, if it's time for us to part ways, either because of me or because of you, what I plan to do is give you all the materials from years back. If you give me your storage, it's large enough, I'll give you all the materials that I've taught through the years. It's more than 10 years. Imagine every week, without fail, every week's like this. And the lessons never repeat. Number 2, expecting more than you deserve. In terms of the spiritual, everything is a gift. We all know that, right? Everything is a gift. There's nothing in our nature that can demand grace. There's nothing. The demands of our faith are not favors we do for God. But existential obligations. What am I saying here? Aritza's not here, so I cannot give that example. If you pray to God for something, what are you praying to God for? Think about what you're praying to God for now. You got it in your mind? You know what you're praying for? And then you say to God, God, Give me this that I'm asking for. In exchange, I will believe you with all my heart, and I will go to Mass every day until I die. And I will give Father Ivan the correct tithe. What do you think is that? Is that all right? Matthew 20 addresses that. Everything is a gift in spiritual terms. Everything is a gift. So if you tell God, give me this, and I will give you my faith. What does that tell you? Our faith is conditional, and that you're putting God on the spot. Give me this, and let's exchange. I'll give you faith and give me what I'm asking for. That's an absolute act of infidelity. You know that? It's pure, unadulterated infidelity. It's not being faithful to God. We have to believe Him. We have to love God. And that's our obligation as we exist on earth. It's our obligation. God does not even have to tell us that. It's our obligation that we love God. We call that existential obligation. As we exist, we're obligated to obey Him, to love Him, to keep all the commandments. And guess what? Love your neighbors too. Again, we cannot love God without loving our neighbors. Corollary to that, we cannot love our neighbors and not love God. Not doable. I think I've explained that before. Book of Matthew says, whatever you do to those around you, you do it to Him. So how in the world can that be possible? Love one and not the other. So if you truly love God, you love your neighbor. If you truly love your neighbor, you truly love God. Clear? And number 3, the generosity of God. Everything God gives us is gratuitous and fruit of His infinite love. The most beautiful is grace. So you highlight that word grace. God's grace is the most beautiful gift God gives. The most beautiful gift that God gives is His grace. That's why grace is a very beautiful name. Yeah. I'll have a daughter, I'll name her Grace. It's a beautiful name. That's the most beautiful gift from God. Grace. No, not gracia. It's grace. It's better. There's gracia and there's disgracia too. Thursday. Wearing the right clothes. Remember the wedding banquet for the son? The father had a big banquet. The tables are prepared, the food are ready. Where are the guests? Those who have been invited did not come. All kinds of reasons. I have pain in my back. My spouse. I have a meeting. It's too dark. It's too hot. Too cold. Many reasons. You know the story. And then the father went to as far as sending the servants out in the street and grabbing everybody. Everybody welcome, come on in. Share the banquet. But there's a catch. There's a catch. Because towards the end of the gospel, there's a catch. And what was that catch? We're talking Matthew 22 here. You have to have the right clothing. You have to have the right wardrobe. It's just like going to a formal wedding, reception, and then you wear shorts and sandals. What do you think will happen? No, nobody will throw you out, I think. I don't think so. But you'll be looked at, and you are different, that's for sure. Okay? You have to dress up when you go to formal dining. And this guy was caught in the banquet, not wearing, it says here, a man who was not wearing a wedding robe. And what happened? The king said to his attendants, bind him hand and foot and throw him into the darkness outside, where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. And then highlight, many are called, but few are chosen. What does that mean? What does that mean? Who chooses? Who chooses? Okay. Many are called, few are chosen. Two verbs. This is past participle, that's why. You know past participle? And they are called. Who calls? Who calls? God. And who chose? God chose. Many are called, but very few are chosen. It's past participle, so we are chosen. All of us are called, but very few respond. Very few respond. That's a problem. God will not force us. If you respond positively, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But you'll be thrown out into the darkness outside, where there is gnashing and weeping. What does it say there? Weeping and gnashing of teeth. What does it mean, gnashing of teeth? You remember when you were delivering baby? No, not you. Remember when you were having your baby? I heard many nurses, they were telling me stories. Women delivering babies, there's so much pain, and they were crying out. They were crying out. They would be given something to bite on to bear the pain, and then they would say, "This is it. I don't want any more of these. This is the last one. I promise." And then next year they'll be back. Again, maternity. There's so much pain. And gnashing of teeth is that. When you are in pain, what do? You bite your lips, don't you? When you're in extreme pain. Or you grab onto something really tight when you're in extreme pain. But that's nothing compared to the pain in the darkness outside. That's nothing. You have no idea how hell is. That's why I want to talk about the last four things. While we talk about heaven, we can also talk about hell, and of course judgment. There's so much misconception about death and judgment. If we have time. Number one, how dare you not accept? God invites us to accept freely the gift of union with Him. lo and behold, we can use our freedom badly and not accept. What type of freedom do we have? What type of freedom do we have? And look, we do not have absolute freedom. We cannot choose what our end should be. Our God is our only end. Our freedom is limited and consists in being free to choose the means that most efficaciously help us to reach that end. So our freedom is we are free to choose whatever it takes to be in union with God. That's the freedom. That's why those people who say, oh, I should be free to choose. This is my body. I can do what I want. That's wrong reasoning. That's not the reasoning of the Bible. Because typically, when you tell people there's freedom, USA is freedom, people think freedom means you can do what you want. Right? What if I want to get the money from the bank? That's not my money. Am I free to do that? No, I'm not free to do that. So what sort of freedom are we talking about? You're free to do what you want. Why can't people understand that? Matthew 22 is very clear. Freedom means we are free to choose whatever is necessary and needed so we can gain eternal life. That's the freedom. That's the freedom that's in the Bible. It's not that we are free to do what we want. It's not. Is that clear? Any questions you can ask? An undeserved invitation. Total adherence to God is the only worthy response. Romans 4:7 says, how hard it is for a man to give his life for another person. Sure is. But many people do. Now, when people die, when Jesus died on the cross, did he die only for the good people like you? Or he also died for bad people like me? What's the question? What's the answer? He died for all, good and bad. So don't exclude me. He also died for me, even if I'm so bad. That's the meaning of undeserved invitation. But dressing for the occasion. We need to be purged. The robe mentioned is an image of the soul. Understand? That should be highlighted. So that wedding robe mentioned in Matthew 22 is actually the image of the soul. How does your soul look like now? Is your soul purified? Or you need a new filter? We probably need a heavy-duty filter to purify our soul. Is your soul drinkable? Is your soul even eatable? There's no such word. Actually, it's edible. It's not a matter of God not having mercy on us. It's a matter of the use of our freedom. We should not regard it as just something possible. Again, existential need. I was talking earlier about it's our obligation as we exist on earth. We have this existential obligation to adhere to God's law, to keep His commandments, to obey. Are you dressed up for the occasion?